From the heartland of America and the gateway to the West, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Norrie. Welcome to Coast AM. Unbelievable story. Some small farms and organic food growers could be placed under direct supervision of the federal government under new legislation making its way through Congress called the Food Safety Modernization Act. House Resolution 875, or this act, was introduced by Rosa DeLauro, Democrat out of Connecticut. DeLauro's husband, Stanley Greenberg, works for Monsanto, the world's leading producer of herbicides and genetically engineered seed. DeLauro's act has 39 co-sponsors and was referred to the House Agriculture Committee in Feb. 4. It calls for the creation of a Food Safety Administration to allow the government to regulate food production at all levels and even mandates property seizure, fines up to $1 million per offense, and criminal prosecution for producers, manufacturers, and distributors who fail to comply with regulations. Well, we've got Dr. Catherine Albrecht on the line with us, privacy expert and author. Catherine, this sounds like more control to me. How about you?
Hey, George, I've been saying for 10 years that this was going to happen. Ever since the NACE program that we've talked about on the program here before, National Animal Identification System, that was going to require all farms to register and a microchip to be placed into all of the animals. You then have just a small period of time to tell the government whenever they're born or slaughtered. And I said, mark my words, there's going to come a time they're going to do the same thing, that you're going to need government permission to so much as plant a seed into the ground, and that's exactly what this is. This means that government officials, you will have to register your property if you're going to grow any kind of food, whether you're an orchard, a vineyard, a garden, doesn't matter. You're going to have to register with the garden if you are doing quote-unquote food production, if this thing passes. And I always say if, because if we rise up against it, we may be able to stop it. But at that point, there is going to be no way to, quote-unquote, drop off the grid and provide your own food, because you'll be subject to up to $1 million in fines if you fail to tell them about every last stick of celery growing on your own property.
All right. Unbelievable. Catherine, thanks so much. What's new on your website? All you have to do is go to coasttocoastam.com.